What's going on, everybody? I'm King Sway,
Princess Sway.
and today we have another kill count. I'm actually not going to lie. It dropped. Well, I'm doing this recording today, Sunday. Or today is Sunday. I'm doing this recording. It dropped today, but I'm not uploading this until tomorrow. I'm not uploading until tomorrow, which is Monday. So by the time you see this, it will be Monday. We just did one for The Invisible Man, the 1930.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. But we did The Invisible Man, the 1933 version, and he dropped the this one, The Invisible Man, the 2020 version. So of course we had to hit this because Princess gets what Princess wants.
It's awesome.
Let's get it.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and
I always
today
love
we're looking at
the sets that he
2020
uses.
version of The Invisible Man. This modern take on H.G.
I love
Wells'
that
story
suit.
that was written 12 decades ago beautifully adapts the material into the digital age. That's no surprise, given that it was written and directed by Leigh Whannell, who not only created Saw and Insidious with his buddy James Wan, but who made his directorial debut with the amazing techno horror Upgrade.
Yeah, I'm Lee. If you don't already know that, that's probably a bad sign.
The Invisible Man is his second film as a director, and it's just as sleek and horrifically cold as Upgrade, showing that the dude has already mastered his own sense of style. With The Invisible Man, Whannell distills our current reality of techno-corporate dominance into a suspenseful horror movie about gaslighting and abuse. It's one of the best marriages of themes and style I've ever seen, with the invisible capabilities of the antagonist.
I was just gonna say, if
feeding into and representing
I haven't seen this
the
movie yet,
paranoia of
but
the
when she
protagonist,
breathed,
who's
when
played
she
by
was
one of
breathing
my
out in the
favorite
frost,
actors of our
there was the frost
generation,
behind her.
Elizabeth Moss, previously seen on the Kill Count in Jordan Peele's Us. If you're looking for a great
The
horror
man's
movie
gonna
made
catch her
this
when,
year, I highly recommend you watch
when
this one on
she,
your own,
like,
especially
falls.
because so many scenes
Oh, yeah,
rely
she
on
dies in that
expertly
movie.
crafted
Yeah.
suspense that won't come across as well in a Kill Count. In the 1930s, the Invisible Man killed over 100 people. How many will this modern makeover murder?
That was because
Let's
he
see.
derailed a train just being nuts.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, the joke. Let's see.
The movie
Wait,
begins with a
invisible.
very
We won't
clever
see.
title card. Best shake off all that water now, title
And then
card.
he-
There
and
you
then-
go.
I really gotta up my
In this
my computer
gorgeous
graphic skills.
cliffside
I want to do
home,
so much more.
Cecilia Cass is awake at the witching hour,
Yeah,
so she
but
can
that is
quietly sneak
a lot
away
about
from her partner
new
Adrian
things.
Griffin, who should be
I try a lot of new
sleeping
things,
thanks to some diazepam she slipped in. This opening sequence is one of the best
Like
I've
the-
seen in a horror movie since Scream, which
Like,
is
you
meant
know,
as the highest
this,
compliment. Even though we don't
the
yet
show
know
we're
the
creating
details of this relationship,
with Sentinel.
Elizabeth Moss's performance and the care with
That's
which
not
she
dropping
makes her every
until
movement lets us know she's
next year, though.
terrified
We're
of
not even gonna
possibly
start
waking
shooting until next year
Adrian
because
up. She
it's
grabs a
it's
getaway
getting colder
bag
out, and we
inside a
don't and we
closet
shoot
cupboard
outside for a lot of the
heading
scenes, and
downstairs
I'm
to
not
Iron
shooting
Man's
outside.
workshop. No time to stop
He's
and look at that
shooting
spray
inside.
tan station, Cece. You've got to
So
get
we're gonna
out
wait
of
for it to
here
get
without
warmer.
making any noise.
And during that time, I'm gonna get bigger.
Ah, shit, you made noise! More noise is made when a good boy booty bumps a car alarm.
Booty bump.
And as Cece makes it to the
Yeah.
outer wall of the property, the
bump.
bedroom light flicks on behind her. She traverses the acres of this house's isolation until
Of
she
course
reaches
she
a
will.
row where she, but not her diazepam, gets into a car
And then
driven
her
by her
brother
sister
kissed
Emily,
her.
picked up
That's
just
not her
in the
brother,
nick of
baby. That's her
time.
husband.
Adrian's able to punch through the window and
I'm
grab
wondering-
Cecilia before
okay, he
Emily
punches
drives
through the window,
away.
that's fine.
She's left
I'm
lonely and
wondering-
pissed with nothing to hold on
If
to
he
with
kissed
Cecilia
his-
besides
her
her
No.
diazepam. 2 weeks later, Cece is
How
staying
fast
with
that
her
guy
friend
is.
James Lanier, a San
And
Francisco
how'd he
police
find her?
detective played by Aldous Hodge. She is
By
still so
her-
traumatized by her near
Like, he wasn't right behind her, like, I get he has security surveillance and whatnot,
good
but-
thing she has such a supportive friend in
Maybe
James.
her
That's the
footsteps.
furthest you've gone since you've been here. Okay?
Maybe he saw
So as
them.
far as I'm concerned, you just walked on the moon.
She was an astronaut. Cece's taking every step possible to keep herself hidden from Adrian, but all these efforts may be unnecessary after her sister Emily shows up with the latest news. Adrian is dead from an apparent suicide. It's a total shock to Cece, especially since Adrian was always so controlling, not just in his life, but hers as well, dictating everything from her outfits to her diet. She also implies that he would hit and sexually abuse her, and that he tried to put a baby in her as a way to keep them connected forever. Thankfully, she was able to avoid a pregnancy by secretly taking birth control. With
That's
Adrian
not
6
cool.
feet under now, Cece can get the mail with ease, impressing James
then
and his
there's
daughter
an
Cindy,
invisible
who
man
hopes to get
grabbing
into
her
Parsons
feet.
Fashion School after she
And then,
graduates
like,
this year.
her
Cecilia gets a
breakfast
summons to
turns
head
on
into the
fire.
city and meet with Adrian's brother Tom Griffin, who also acts as the attorney of Adrian's estate. He begins to read Adrian's will, which only serves to manipulate Cece, even from beyond the urn of his ashes.
Although our relationship was far from perfect, I at least thought we had built up enough trust that you would talk to me rather than running away from what you perceived us to have.
Sorry, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, is he allowed to give Cece $5 million? Because that's what Tom's supposed to do, according to Adrian's will. Whole lot of moolah there, all for the low cost of one Hancock. Cecilia takes the money and uses it to buy James a new ladder and Sydney a ladder to success, since she's going to use it to fund a Parsons tuition.
You go to fashion school, kid.
It's a really sweet
That was really
scene
nice.
that goes a long way towards making you care about these characters. All three actors, including then 16-year-old Storm Reed, do a great job being realistically goofy and compassionate towards each other. And that makes it all the more unnerving when we get this creepy distant shot from down the hallway, implying that they're already being
I love that
watched by
shot
someone
right
they
there.
can't see. This movie really is a masterpiece in paranoid filmmaking. With its long, searching shots of empty space, it makes the viewer constantly vigilant for some evidence of the
That he's
invisible
there.
man's presence.
Yeah.
It's a very active viewing experience that also recreates Cece's feelings of paranoia. But mere paranoia can't be blamed for what happens to her breakfast skillet the next morning.
It goes on fire and then.
It sounds like bacon frying. That's why I'm
The bacon
some.
burns and
Yep.
goes straight up.
See,
in
what did I just
flames,
say?
but Sydney saves the day with a fire extinguisher, so no damage done, you know, for now. That night, a Home Alone Cece finds the front door mysteriously open. And though
Yeah,
she
no.
doesn't see anyone outside, if she had been a bit more attentive, she might have noticed the foggy breath
See.
being exhaled right next to her. Later,
There's somebody
while she's
standing right next to
sleeping,
her. She just
covers
can't
are
see 'em.
removed And some camera
Yeah,
flashes go
and
off,
then somebody
briefly lighting
took
up the
off
room.
That's not creepy.
Wake up,
That's
you
not
could've done
creepy.
that,
That's
Cece.
not creepy at all.
He's taking pictures of her when she's sleeping.
Don't worry about that guy, see? He's just an homage to the OG film. I love that it's motivated too. There would be a dress stand in there since Sydney wants to go to fashion school. We get another reference to the Claude Rains film when Cece sees a butt print in the cushion of this chair.
Yeah.
But again, it's only a reference. Ain't no invisible butts there, though there is something keeping her from pulling the sheet back to her bed. Or rather, someone. And they're coming right for her.
James!
What? What's wrong? Oh, sorry. Unsurprisingly, there's nothing Cece can point to as evidence by time James
My man is
and his
jacked.
massive triceps get to the room.
Adrian will haunt you if you let him.
Where do I know him from? I've seen him in something else. I just don't remember what I've seen him in.
Cece has a job interview the next day
Goblins?
at an architectural firm with a painfully tense
No, I don't think
startup
so, man.
logo. The interviewer is played by Benedict Hardy, who was that nasty fucker Fisk in Upgrade, but he's barely through flirting with her.
That's
when she
twice,
discovers that her
they
work
mentioned
sample
Upgrade. I gotta
was
see that
missing from
movie.
her binder. Even worse, she passes out during the interview. That tends not to get you the job. It does get you a
Wait,
trip to
haven't
the
we
hospital,
seen this?
though, where more
No.
nods to the original film can be found.
No, I mean
think
on
we're
that
now
TV.
perfectly balanced.
No,
making
we
this
haven't
film
seen
his
this movie,
own
but
while
we
paying
can
respect to the
try and see if
classic.
it's on
Good
Netflix or
stuff.
something.
The hospital calls her later and says that she probably fainted because of all the diazepam in her system. But Cecilia says she hasn't taken her diazepam since she ran away from Adrian. Hell, she doesn't even have it anymore after dropping it outside his house that night. Oh my god!
Ding,
Cece goes
ding,
to
ding.
Tom and asks him to tell Adrian
Dun,
to stop
dun,
messing with
dun.
her. She thinks he's still alive somehow, since he once told her he would do this kind of shit if she ever left him.
That he would walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him. But that he would leave me a sign, so that I'd know he was there.
That sign, her diazepam, is proof to her that Adrian's not dead. He must
Yeah.
have scienced a way to be unseen.
He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Tom commiserates with her, saying that Adrian also used to abuse and manipulate him, but he doesn't believe her claim that his brother is still alive.
Why
Not
is
with the
Tom
pictures he's
like
gotten that
like
envelope.
that?
Cecilia
Tom
begins
is
to
not
find
even
herself cut
that
off from the
nice.
loved ones
No,
in her
he's not.
life. Her sister won't talk to her after getting a nasty email that morning, and sure enough, Cece finds a message in her outbox, supposedly written by her, telling Emily she doesn't like her and that she wishes she were dead. Meanwhile, Sydney is turned against Cece in a much more physical way.
Oh my god.
Sydney.
You just gonna slap?
I find it kind of hard to believe that Sydney would blame C for that when she was clearly too far away.
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying.
I guess it's the most reasonable explanation for the girl.
Like that, like you're not gonna believe an invisible dude.
So together they step out, leaving Cece all alone with her invisible tormentor.
Where are you?
Then Cece finds like
Come
a
on,
What are you waiting for? She tries to reveal his tracks with coffee grounds. Good thing they don't buy whole bean. But when he doesn't show himself, she decides to give his cell phone a call. She hears it vibrating from the attic, so she goes
How
up
do you hear
there and
okay.
tracks it down, finding some very disturbing pictures on it of her sleeping the other night. After discovering where her missing work samples went, she sees a text on the phone saying, "Surprise." Then hears something coming from over by the attic ladder. Huh, doesn't look like anything's there, see? But how can you know for sure? Oh shit, peeping paint man! Cecilia hops down and arms herself, then follows the paint trail to the
And then-
kitchen, where it
and
looks
then
like this
the
invisible
invisible
has
guy
washed himself
grab
off in
her
the sink.
neck
Fully
and
invisible
pull
again,
it
he
up.
physically
I'm sitting there like, yeah, he's invisible.
Fight scene reminiscent of those in Upgrade.
And then she's gonna try
It's a
to stab
sign of
him.
how well done this fight is that you can tell exactly what's happening, even though one of the participants is invisible. Elizabeth Moss called this sequence the most physically challenging of the film, since it involved stunt wires and fighting
Yeah.
a dude in a green screen suit. It was also quite the acting challenge. Because they were using a motion-controlled robotic camera to get all the cool upgrade-like shots, she had to act while hitting specific beats that were counted out loud like it was marching band.
And 12, and 13, and 14, and...
You have to listen to the count while you're acting, which is a Herculean feat of multitasking that I could not achieve. But she just pulls it off.
Also, I love that Moss acknowledges how crucial the stunt performers were here.
They wanted me to do as much of it as possible, although I had incredible assistance from my stunt double, Sarah. I had an incredible stunt team here.
Hell yeah, she did. Look how Sarah flew. Cece
Look,
eventually gets
I do
away
my own
and runs
stunts.
down the street until she's able to be picked up by an Uber driver.
I know that ain't always easy. You get bumped and bruised, and
Safe for the time
I
being,
slammed
she
against
has the
trees. I
driver
slammed
take her
against the
back to
ground.
Adrian's
I gotta
estate
do flips
outside
and
the
hit
city.
and
The
just.
exterior
That's what.
of Adrian's
One time I hit and I twisted my arm wrong. I don't do the flips when I twist anymore.
Australia. The Invisible Man is a co-production of the U.S. and
And the
Australia.
Yeah, I recently hurt. Well, that was during a fight I had. I just had a fight.
I want everyone who's watching this movie to think.
No, not with Bubby. Daddy had a regular fight.
But we're not.
Why'd you spill your beans? She finds the
You weren't
house
here.
empty.
You were with Mommy.
Except for memories of past trauma
Where
and
was
one
Mommy?
handsome, friendly good boy. Hoping to figure
Oh,
out what
here.
the hell is going on, she
I wasn't
goes to
here. I
that
had to go
rack
fight.
in the lab that looks like a plastic
And
toy
then
was punched
who's
out from
fighting?
it. A
guy
beat
named
up on
Jose
a tablet
Hernandez.
reveals a high-tech suit that grants its wearer invisibility. It's covered in little cameras that not only trigger trypophobia, but also, I think,
I love the
project
technology
image
behind that.
cameras
Actually, they
on the
if
opposite
I don't know if
sides of
anybody
the
remembers, they
suit,
used something like that in
meaning
the original
transmitting
G.I. Joe.
and footage of
I
those
don't know why they didn't bring it back in the
surroundings
second
at
G.I.
the
Joe,
time,
but
thus
the second G.I. Joe was not as good as the
Winnell
first.
researched military tech for camouflage to see how invisibility could be achieved realistically.
I didn't want anybody drinking a potion and then just disappearing. I wanted it to be something that was grounded in reality.
Guess he wasn't a fan of
And
Jack
they
Griffin's
made an
techniques from the
invisible
original
suit.
film.
A few
That
chemicals
comes with
mixed
little
together, that's all.
cameras.
The dog begins to
Yeah.
bark, signaling that Cece
Like you
may
guys.
not be
You guys
alone
aren't
anymore.
cameras.
But instead of trying to get out of there with the evidence, she hides the Invisi-suit in her secret getaway closet cubby. I guess she figures the Invisible Man could have taken it from her, since he is in fact here now, throwing her to the floor. But she's able to get away again, so I really feel like she should have taken the suit with her. Cece goes to a
did.
restaurant.
No,
and
she
eats
didn't.
with
She left it
Emily,
there. She
hoping
couldn't
she
have.
could convince her that this whole invisible abuser thing is really happening.
looks like crap.
She tells Emily that she has
And then
evidence
she's
stowed
gonna-
away, and
and
between
then the
that and some
invisible man's
sisterly
gonna
love,
hurt her.
Emily begins to
And
believe Cecilia. Now, if only she could maintain eye contact. Pay attention, Emily. What are you looking at over there? Oh, fuck! Okay, Emily drops dead on the table in a horrific and sudden kill that leaves Cece looking guilty of murder and a poopy pants crying face. She's arrested
That
and taken
sucks.
to a facility where her ranting
No, seriously,
session
that
invisible
sucks.
aggressor don't do her any favors in terms of looking sane. Talking to an invisible man?
I like the acting in there.
She's
Yeah,
locked
I
in
like
a
the
cell,
acting.
and as the drugs begin to take hold, she hears some auditory proof of Adrian's presence.
Surprise.
Cece is damned by security footage and the threatening email from her in Emily's inbox, and as much as she'd like to tell James about the Invisi-suit she found, she can't risk showing her hand when this room hasn't been properly land-fished.
I can't tell you right now. He's listening.
Yeah.
Oh no,
it's
he's
gonna be a
listening,
hard
but
sell,
close.
see. And things aren't about to get easier for her either, because a blood test reveals a further complication.
Did you know that you were pregnant?
That's a lot for C to have on her mind as she meets with Tom, who comes to visit her. He tells her that because of her sororicide, she's forfeited the money from Adrian's will, which also means Sydney about to lose her tuition fund. Damn, Tom, you a bastard. Tell him how much of a bastard he is, C.
You're just the jellyfish version of him.
Where's there a jellyfish
Everything but
from
the
Spider-Man?
spine.
The nasty Nigerian
Jellyfish
smiles
looks
as he
like
tells her
that.
that she does
No,
have an
man, he's
option
saying
available
he
to
doesn't
her,
have a
one
spine.
that'll
He has
let
no
her keep the
backbone.
money
He's not
and get out of
a
jail
strong-willed
free.
person. He's a wimp. Oh, what's he? A weenie baby.
Now go back to her.
With that, Tom tells C that Adrian is still alive, and that before she left him, he figured out she was taking birth control and swapped it out for placebos. Now Adrian wants that baby in her belly, and he wants Cece too, because he needs to have control over everything. C denies the terms though, and steals herself a pen that she can use to draw out Adrian. That night in her cell, Cece retrieves the hidden pen, and after telling Adrian he's not allowed to have her or the baby, she stabs herself in the wrist. Oh shit! Somebody stop her!
Down for the morgue.
There you are.
There he is indeed.
Across for
Man,
attention,
I love
down
how
for the morgue.
Suit flickers in and out as Cece
Don't ask me
stabs
how I know
him.
that.
A guard comes in to see what's all this and finds a flickering ocular venom.
No,
standing in the
I haven't
front.
done it.
Just a heads up,
I've
we're about
just-
to see a lot of guards get beat up in this scene, but I think that
Not
most of their
me.
injuries
No,
will be
baby,
non-fatal. And don't argue, it doesn't matter. I'll count this first guard.
You don't know what that he's talking about.
Adrian puts that shocky baton up against his neck for a good long while. I
Yeah,
know
that would
they're
if you leave it
supposed
up
to
in
not
there, your
control
throat,
emotion.
that causes involuntary muscle spasms and your throat
Cece
closes
tries to
up.
run away, but is stopped by a couple more guards.
Don't ask me how I know that
Since
either.
They just get chopped in the neck and or thrown against the wall. I'm not gonna count them as dead. Another trio of guards shows up,
And
and,
if-
Adrian
and
non-lethally
the guards
supports
Hook!
them as well, with a torso hit.
And then the
and
other
slammed
guard's
into
gonna
a
get
window,
slammed into the
followed by
window.
some funk
This makes me
motion
wonder
on
if that's
camera.
green,
And finally,
the green screen
he's
suit,
gunshot to the knee with a
or
follow-up
if that's
to
just
the
them
head.
acting.
Easy peasy when
Well,
you can't
that
see.
answers that question.
Two more
Never
guys
mind.
show up, and while the first dude just gets knocked to the ground, Adrian messes with the second for a mo. Before casually shooting him from behind as he walks away. And that one, I finally will count. After all that, Cece finally grabs a gun from a fallen guard and runs after
I'd have
the
shot him before that.
Adrian, even getting a shot off at him in the stairwell. She uses the weapon to escape the facility and chases Adrian out into the rain, where she stalks him in the parking lot like some kind of drenched kitty. When he finally appears, he chokeslams her against an ambulance and says that because she fought back against him, now he's gonna go murder Sydney. You know, just to teach her a lesson. He incapacitates one more guard and walks away without killing him, leaving yet another eyewitness to this.
That's what I'm saying, like,
bastard's
no.
existence.
Despite the fact
Cecilia
that you're
drives
invisible,
away, and on his
someone's-
way out, he causes another
I don't want to say saw
guard
you be invisible, but they saw your suit glitch. You know what I'm saying?
and drives away from the
They can now corroborate her story.
Billy the puppet
Up.
on the wall. She calls James and
Jason
tells him that
saw.
Sydney
Yeah,
was
saw,
dead.
yeah.
She ain't lying. The back door at his
Billy
house
saw
just
that
opened,
evil.
and that wasn't caused by no wind. Sydney wakes up and, sensing that she's not alone, sprays some mace that finds its target and reveals an invisible presence. She tries to run away, but is stopped in the hallway. But thankfully, Papa James arrives to save her, or to get hit in the face. The
You
Invisibeast
can't fight if you don't
one
see.
of the more
And then
brutal
there's
ones
blood
I've ever
dripping down
seen.
his mouth.
My man's getting his
Really
butt
disturbing to
whooped.
witness, both
And then
for us,
there's
the
blood
audience,
dripping
and for
down
poor
his mouth.
Sydney there. James is nearly
his
beaten to
shirt.
death before Cece runs in, acting like an Attitude-era hardcore wrestler. A Crash Holly, if you will. With her target in sight, mostly, she
Rushing.
opens fire
Oh,
and shoots
that
him
too.
4 times in the chest. And
That's
since that
enough
suit
there.
ain't bulletproof, the Invisivillain falls to the floor. Only thing is,
Why would you
It's
make
his
it bulletproof?
brother.
it's revealed to be
It's his
Adrian's brother, Tom. Well, that
Good
makes
guess.
things mighty interesting, doesn't it? A raid is conducted
Did you
at
see
Adrian
this?
Griffin's home, and behind a wall in
You
the
saw it with
basement,
Bubby.
they find
You
the
had
ocular
to.
tech magnate tied up in a apparent captivity. James tells Cecilia that Tom was the Invisible Man all along, and that Adrian was a fellow victim. But she ain't buying that ish one bit. She maintains that Adrian was behind everything, and that now he's just playing the victim.
This is what he does. And he's doing it again.
Eventually, Cecilia calls Adrian and agrees to go to his house. I'm really glad we get a proper scene with a fully visible Oliver Jackson Cohen. Not only is the dude astoundingly handsome, he also
she's
gave
gonna
an
kill him
incredible
with
performance.
Hey, no.
It's really funny to see him in a green screen
Don't
suit
give it away.
behind the scenes footage. Adrian welcomes Cecilia inside, where he's got some dinner waiting for her. Surf and turf.
We have sushi, steak, and pasta.
And pasta, I guess, as a cheap add-on. They sit down in sight of a security cam, and Adrian gives her an apology for how he abused her during their relationship. Cece says that the only way she'll let him be a part of the baby's life is if he admits to having been the Invisible Man. But Adrian sticks to his guns and swears up and down that he's a mere Shaggy in all this.
You're really wondering.
Me.
His tact is probably because he's smart enough to suspect that Cece might be wearing a wire, which she is, hoping that James will catch his confession. But Adrian never admits anything, at least not openly and outright.
I know you better than anyone else in the world. I mean, that shouldn't come as a surprise.
You son of a bitch. With that callback to the text he sent her in the attic, and the time he said it to her in the hospital,
Surprise.
Cece has her own personal confirmation, so
Yeah,
she excuses
buddy.
herself to the
No, I
bathroom,
know you did it.
ready to enact some revenge. Adrian patiently waits for her to return, but when she does, he doesn't see her, and she invisibly does to him what he did to her sister in the restaurant. To the security cam, though, it just looks like a brutal suicide. Cece covers her tracks via sound as well, making a loud crying re-entrance when she visibly returns to Adrian bleeding out on the floor. She screams and calls 911, begging someone to come and help him, as she cleverly walks out of the security cam's range. Once she's unseen, she drops the ad.
Yeah, I was about to say just
Coldly
instant
stares
ding
at
ding.
Adrian as he bleeds to death.
Nah, bleed out, bruh.
What can I say, motherfucker?
Bleed
You deserve this.
out.
Surprise.
Fuck yeah, girl. Fuck yeah. I love that Winnell went with
He's
practical
a
effects for this
He's
throat
a
slit. But of course he did. He's a veteran at this genre.
Snapped limbs, scalped people, ripped teeth out, hacked legs off at the ankle. But this is special. Something classier about this.
James runs towards the house in a
And then
panic,
there's
but
a-
Cece tells him she's okay. Adrian killed himself, and that's that. Just don't mind the Invisi-suit in her bag. In case
And
you're
the cameras are moving.
confused, there were two suits the whole time. She hid
Yeah.
the one she found in the
She
lab.
hid the
inside
one,
closet.
and then he had one because she hid the one and he didn't find it, or he would have moved it. That's how she got the other one. She bust caps in the other one.
Taking it home with her as a souvenir. The movie ends with James.
He probably wasn't worried about it, despite the fact that it was like probably a million or so dollars. He just rebuilt another one, or fixed the one that the brother was wearing.
Invisible, abusive tech billionaire.
I
Let's
bet
find
she
out.
fixed her own.
Oh, whoa, what?
Surprise.
Aw,
Surprise.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Late housewarming gift, I guess. Hey, come on, bring it this way.
I love that set. I'm gonna say it again.
Since I decided against counting all those guards
A
as
green screen.
kills, only 5 people died in The Invisible Man. 4 dudes and 1 lady. Still feeling
dad always
conflicted about
counts
whether or
as
not I
one
should have
because
counted those guards.
his
Oh well.
phone
With a
They're not
runtime
dead.
of 124
They just got beat
minutes,
down.
that
That's
left
a
us with
bad
a kill
concussion
on
at worst.
average every 24.8 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Adrian Griffin. Both throat slits in this movie were abrupt and very memorable, but his beats out Emily's by being a little more bloody and a lot more satisfying.
Yeah.
Eat
Why
shit,
would
guy.
you
Dome machete
have
for lamest
to-
kill will go to the guard shot off screen. Kind of a
Just
given there.
bang,
And
and kept
that's it.
walking.
The Invisible Man remake came out in 2020, and there's some talk of a
Why is
sequel in the
there a
works,
wolf
but
in
you
that
never really know until.
Oh, that's for You're
Until
Next.
next time, I'm James H.
We watched that.
This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count.
That's the one because Bubby was like, the only reason I watched this one was because Dad, it reminded me of you. When the girl came out and started beating the crap out of everybody.
Hope y'all are enjoying the October Kill Count release schedule. It's
We'll
pretty
watch it
fucking
again.
hard, not gonna lie, but it's spooky.
We'll watch it again.
I got to. Plus, I have
Matter of
a
fact, you know what?
mortgage to pay now.
If you
Thanks,
remind me, that'll be the
everybody.
next kill count we do.
Ah, after Mommy comes here.
hmm Okay, that's my reaction. I loved it. I have not seen this movie, but if they got it on Netflix, I've seen Brightburn, and we've all seen. I think we've all seen Candyman, Army of Darkness. I haven't seen Ma, but I have seen Babysitter Killer Queen.
Yeah, we did on our
And they get
TV.
weird on that when they start going and all of a sudden it's like a kung fu fight game, and they doing the fly trips and they go and just I'm sitting there like you just killed the movie, bro. In my personal opinion, like you killed that, like that made me detach from the movie in that aspect. But we talking about this kill count.
How did you like it?
I loved it. I want to. This actually makes me want to go see the movie. I'm a big science fiction nerd. I love all kinds of crazy
Yeah,
tech
my dad
things.
loves this movie. He does now. He really does.
I'm into crazy science fiction things. I'm into crazy special effects and stuff like that because, as she said, I get into all kinds of things and I do. I'm amateur with it, but I
He
do
really
my own special effects and things like that. And just I like the plot. I haven't seen the original, but I have. We have done the kill count for the original, and I've read the book, but that was so long ago. I remember bits and pieces.
I never read the book because I don't know when I was born, but
But you're just learning how to read.
yeah.
But yeah. I think that's something I would like to sit down and watch. In my personal opinion, that like I said, I loved it.
Well, let me tell you what was my favorite. My favorite was like the invisible suit that like glitched and stuff. And
When it
had-
glitched in and out,
Yeah, that's my.
I like that
favorite.
part too.
And then I like the girl just grabbing it and then putting it in her locker.
She was like, "I'm gonna take this with me. Don't worry about it. You ain't seen nothing, or maybe you won't see nothing." Hi. But
That one is so funny.
that's gonna do it for my reaction. I'm King Sway,
Princess Ray.
and we're gonna see you in the next one.
Bye.